until your child's temperature has been taken. Any student at the school site with a fever or COVID symptoms will be taken to a waiting room and socially distanced from others. Parents will be contacted and required to pick them up from school immediately. While students will be participating in a traditional school setting, some systems proceed
Good evening, one and all. This is Rialto Unified School District regular meeting of the Board of Education for October 20th, 2021. Call to order is 6:10 p.m. We're running a little late. That's okay. Open session. Comments on closed session agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the closed session agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. Avila, do we have any?
We have no comments.
Okay. Closed session, can I have a motion and a second, please?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. As provided by law, the following are the items for discussion and consideration at the closed session of the board meeting. Okay, public employee, employment, discipline, dismissal, release, reassignment of employees per government code, section 54957. Student expulsions, reinstatements, expulsion, enrollments. Conference with labor negotiators, agency designated representatives, Cuauhtemoc Avila, Superintendent Rhea McDiver Gibbs, Lead Personnel Agent, Personnel Services, and Rhonda Kramer, Lead Personnel Agent, Personnel Services. Employment organizations, California School Employees Association, Chapter 203, Rialto Education Association, REA, Communication Workers of America, CWA. Okay, wow, not a whole lot, so let's move into closed session once we vote. Ladies, all at
Aye.
once. Aye?
Aye.
Okay. Let's go into closed session. It is 6:12. We're 7:15. Oh, you're right there. Thank you. Okay, we're back. Adjournment of closed session is what's next. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So move.
Second.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Walker and Ms. O'Kelly will join us shortly, trying to make up for a little time. Clerk Lewis, how do you vote on adjournment?
Aye.
Vice President Montes?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Time is 7:16. Yes, sorry. Okay, open session is reconvened at 7:16. And Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have anyone set up?
Ready to city administrator?
Yes, please.
Hello, good evening. My name's Marcus Fuller, City Manager for the City of Rialto. So if you would like to join me in the pledge, hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And thank you for joining us. Okay. Dr. Avila, what do we have out of closed session?
We have several. The Board of Education took action to uphold the suspension without pay and dismiss classified employee number 2325011 from employment. The roll call vote was unanimous. The Board of Education accepted the administrative appointment of Skylar Daniel, Student Success Strategist, Student Services. The roll call vote was unanimous. And the Board of Education approved an agreement for the resignation of certificated employee number 2056821. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Before we move on to adopt the agenda, I put in a request to change the agenda. In doing so, we moved comments not on the agenda later on, and this was all because I wanted to make sure that we gave our student board member the respect and the time so he could vote and represent properly instead of going home at 9 o'clock and maybe not have his vote and his say. So please bear with me. If it's a hardship on anybody, please bring it to my attention or Dr. Avila's attention, and we can review it again and make whatever changes are necessary as long as our student board member is fully represented by 9 o'clock. Okay. A motion and a second to adopt the agenda, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Ms. Walker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly? Oops. Okay, Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Vice President Montes?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Okay, so we have comments, public comments on agenda items. Any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Dr. Avila?
We do not have any.
Okay, public hearing, we have none. Well, it looks like we may have a lot of time here. Okay, consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And voted by board members to approve consent calendar items. Student board member preferential vote.
Aye.
Thank you. Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Okay, Ms. O'Kelly will be with us shortly. Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Vice President Montes?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Okay. We are going to page 7. Okay, public comments not on the agenda. Dr. Avila, do we have any?
Yes, we do. We have Marcus Fuller.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, President, Vice President, members of the board. I did want to come tonight and introduce myself. I am the recently appointed city manager for the city of Rialto. I was appointed June 21st. A little bit about myself. I'm an engineer by background. I've worked in the public sector for 27 years, started in engineering, so I've worked effectively on important issues, coordinating with school districts throughout my career on the importance of public safety, traffic safety in and around schools. We all know how important that is. So I just wanted you to see my face, know who I am. I look forward to, coordinating with Dr. Avila and his staff and really building our partnership between ourselves and working on, coordinated projects all over the city. So I just wanted to take the time to come down and say hello.
That was wonderful. Thank you.
And Mr. Fuller, just for the viewing audience, could you explain exactly what a city manager does or is?
Certainly. Essentially, the superintendent for the city. So I'm the chief executive officer appointed by the council, basically managing everything that the city does. So if that helps put it into context. Hi, good evening.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, and thank you again. I look forward to the district and the city working even closer together.
Yes.
And I enjoyed working with you while I was a transportation commissioner.
Oh,
And
that's
you're a
right. Well,
So I'm glad to work with you again in this capacity.
yes,
Congratulations.
it's nice to see people from, I should have mentioned that. I was Public Works Director for the City of Rialto from 2012 to the end of 2014. So I'm somewhat familiar with the community and people that are still around. So it's great to see some familiar faces if behind masks. So
Glad to have you back.
thank you.
Okay, comments from association, executive board members, or I'm
We
sorry.
still have
Dr.
comments.
Please, we do have more.
Next, we have Kim Watson and Erica Gibbs Cochran.
Welcome.
Thank you. Good evening, Board of Education, President, Mr. Martinez, Vice President, Mr. Montez, Clerk, Ms. Lewis, Member, Ms. O'Kelly, and Ms. Walker, and our student member, Mr. Hunter. And to you, Dr. Avila, thank you. My name is Kimberly Watson. I am honored to serve as the liaison for DAPAC. I am looking forward to supporting and working with the African American parents, students, and community in the Rialto Unified School District. This is an opportunity to continue the hard work and progress that we have made and to enhance the program to include more parents and student involvement. At this time, I will turn it over to our president, Ms. Erica Cochran Gibbs.
Good evening, Board and Superintendent Avila. It is with great pleasure that I introduce you to our active and our current DAPAC Board, our historian, Matthew Peters, our esteemed parliamentarian, Ms. Lorena Watley, our esteemed secretary, Ms. Leslie Evans, our esteemed vice president, Gina Hammond, and myself, the new DAPAC president, Erica Gibbs Cochran. And thank you so much. We look forward to serving our Rialto students and families of our African American students and families. We also look forward to bridging that gap. And we invite you all to our next meeting on November 9th at 7 p.m. I'm sorry, 6:45. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This way.
Dr. Avila, do we have more?
You have Tobin Brinker.
Welcome.
Good evening. Tobin Brinker, teacher at Frisbee Middle School. I'm speaking on my own behalf. I teach 7th grade world history, and right now I'm teaching a unit on Africa. And one of the lessons I teach is about Proverbs. And one of the favorite Proverbs that I teach is that a man is not really dead until he is forgotten. Tonight I want to speak about something that's very personal. A former student of mine passed away in September. He was an amazing kid. His name was Angel Green. And when he was at Frisbee, he was a little shorter than the other kids, but a bundle of energy. Big smile on his face, always full of jokes and kindness in his heart. And he ran with our Students Run LA team, which we've had now at Frisbee for 22 years. At the time, I was not a runner. I am now, and I actually coach that team. So I had Angel in my class as a student, and part of what made it special was that his mom was also an employee at Frisbee. And so I got to know the family. And then later, his sister was also my student, and she also ran Students Run LA, and I got a chance to run with her. And her mom also ran Students Run LA, and these kids and their mom, they got to run the marathon with us. He passed away in September. He had joined the Army after graduating from Eisenhower High School, and he had served in Afghanistan. And when he returned home, he took his own life. I've been filled with grief and sadness as we deal with the passing of this young man. And I wanted to come here tonight and speak his life into existence in this space and share the memories of him, because he's so much more than how his life ended. He touched a lot of lives, and I stay in touch with a lot of former students, and when they heard about his passing, they lit up social media with stories about what a wonderful young man he was. A couple weeks ago, we attended his service, and it was amazing. His colleagues in the military were there. So many people spoke about him. The building was filled to overflowing because there were so many people who loved Angel. And I've decided that we're going to do a run in his honor. And so I wanted to share that I'm beginning to work on this, and as we get closer to making it a reality, I'll come back and share the specifics with you. But we need to celebrate his service. We need to celebrate his life. And there are so many amazing people out there that are dealing with things that we don't understand. And I'm glad that our district provides services for folks like that. And you never know what people are struggling with. But I wanted to come tonight and just tell you about Angel Green, this wonderful young man who was a graduate of Eisenhower High School, who ran a marathon, the LA Marathon. I think he did it in 3 hours and 7 minutes, very fast time. I think that would have been a Boston qualifying time. And just someone who I was very proud to know. And his mom is actually back in New York right now. They're honoring him there at the base that he served at. And anyway, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Dr. Avila?
That is all we have.
Okay. Comments from association, executive board members, Rialto Education Association. Welcome.
Hello, good evening, Board, President Martinez, Dr. Avila, and Innovation Team. Hello, I am nice and quick tonight. Last week, the following board meeting, I forgot to say hello to Julian and welcome. So I wanted to come over here and just say congratulations, Julian. I was also on the interview panel to interview you. So it is more than a pleasure to see you sitting here. I'm excited for your journey, and I'm excited that you accepted this journey. And I just wanted to let you know that I am very proud of you. And I hope you have a wonderful year in this seat as the student board member. To all the teachers out there and everyone working at the school sites, I just want to say thank you for everything that you guys are doing. We see you, and that's our specialists, everybody from the top to the bottom. Also, to all of our certificated staff, I just want to say thank you to you guys as well. I appreciate all your hard work, and that's all tonight. I just wanted to make it all about Julian. So everyone, enjoy the rest of your night and have a good rest of the week.
Thank you very much.
President Martinez.
Yes, sir.
I would ask for permission to invite Rhonda Scott. Her slip was attached to another one.
Absolutely.
And so we skipped it. This is
Okay,
for
we'll get
comments,
back in order
Comments.
after that.
not on the agenda. So we have Rhonda Scott.
Welcome.
Good afternoon, well, I guess evening, right? Good evening, board. My name is Rhonda Scott, and I am the general manager for Think Together. And so I came here this evening with an invitation. Every year in October, After School Alliances does a Lights On After School event. And I know we've seen Dr. Avila at the last few. And so this year, Dr. Moreland has invited us to be a showcase for her site with the VAPA program. And so just wanted to invite you guys, as our students dance through the decades and put on a performance. It's going to be at 3:45 on the 28th. Angela Brantley has an invitation that she will be forwarding out to each one of you. And we just are excited to see each of you guys come and just support our students and our Think Together program. Thank you.
Thank you. Always nice to be invited to these things.
They're fun.
Okay. We move on with California School Employees Association, CSEA. Welcome.
Good evening, Rialto Unified family. I'm Chris Cordasco, Chapter 203 President. Tonight I want to talk a little bit about some of the things that's been going on since I was last at the podium here. Recently, we've been working with the district on an MOU regarding the COVID testing and the procedures that are necessary. And I just wanted to say I appreciate the district's hard work in getting that done. We're really close to getting the final signatures and getting that wrapped up. So very proud of that. We continue to work on the class and comp study. And I wanted to say, Dr. Avila, I really appreciate you giving Rhonda the time to meet with us more. It really shows members that the district is dedicated to getting this process done in a timely manner. I continue to get asked, obviously, daily about where we're at in that process. But I definitely appreciate the extra time, and we're dedicated to getting it done as well. Also, just continue to hear from members about the workload issues at the sites. I'm excited to see so many new hires in tonight's agenda. I love seeing the advertising that the district is doing out in the community. And it seems like, I hope it's working, and some of the changes that have been made recently to expedite that process. So very happy to see those things too. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you for the update.
I do want to say, Julian, congratulations. I also was on that board, on that panel. I look forward to seeing what this journey does for you and having you learn what being a servant leader is really all about. So thank you.
Okay. We continue with Communication Workers of America. I'm getting from the corner there. Thank you, appreciate that. And Rialto School Managers Association. Okay, also not here.
She's coming.
Oh, okay. Here we go with Communication Workers of America. Welcome.
And good evening, everyone. And basically, we're happy to continue going to class in person. It's very nice. I Don't know how the virtual is because I haven't been to virtual since we've been back in person. So I hope that's going well as well. And have a good evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. You too. Okay, and we are down to Rialto School Managers Association. Okay. All right, thank you very much. Okay, we are to one of my favorite spots, comments from student board member. Mr. Hunter.
Well, after doing some tough research through the schools, I found out that the high schools are having their Spirit Week along with their homecoming rallies this week. Tomorrow, Carter is doing a Throwback Thursday through 90s to 60s type clothes, and Rialto is having a Denim Day tomorrow. Friday is probably the most likely day the kids are looking forward to. Carter and Rialto Carter is having an anything but a backpack day, so I'm excited to see what kind of stuff we get that. Rialto High is also having a retro day, so they're like to wearing neon, so I want to see that. Gonna have arcade, video game looks, just anything to let the kids express themselves. And all the high schools are also having their homecoming football games, so good luck to all the teams, and hopefully, no one loses.
Okay, short and sweet, appreciate that. Okay, you did great on your first comments, appreciate that. Well done. Okay, comments from the superintendent. Dr. Avila?
Thank you, President Martinez. As we come to a close or near the close of October, which also signals the end of Hispanic Heritage Month, I do want to thank Principal Dominguez and her staff at Casey Elementary School. Last week I was invited to be a part of the celebration where kids joyfully shared culture, songs, dances during the morning. They did an amazing job. The only sad part about it is that we did not have any parents there because we could not. The event was recorded, and so families did have the opportunity to view the video of all of the performances, but they represented countries from throughout Latin America. It was a very great event. I also want to thank Principal Camacho and teacher Mr. Nalik, Eisenhower High School, for hosting the Inland Empire Latino Educators Roundtable last week. I was asked to be a guest speaker for the event, and it was wonderful to see 70 or so people participate from numerous districts in the Inland Empire on this very first event. This is the second event of its nature. We did have an Inland Empire Educators Roundtable for African Americans, and that too was an amazing success. So I'm really glad to see that Eisenhower is setting the way, not only for our district, but for the entire Inland Empire, and keeping the conversations of interest to our communities going and fresh. And I look forward to our next roundtable from Eisenhower High School. Also this week, we are celebrating National School Bus Safety Week with the theme, Be Safe, Know the Danger Zone. Transportation Services is holding a poster contest to celebrate the week. Contest rules can be found on our website under the Transportation Services link. The deadline to enter is Monday, October the 25th. And also, on the morning of Friday the 29th, October the 29th, the district will celebrate its inaugural Book Mania at our district elementary schools as part of our broader district's foundation literacy initiative. This day will be filled with dress-ups, gets readers in classrooms, student writing, and celebration of students' literacy achievement. We will make sure to promote this on our social media platforms so the community, for the community to observe on how RUSD students enjoy reading and dressing up for the occasion. And speaking of dressing up, later that day, on Friday the 29th, between 5 and 7 p.m., select school sites from the district will participate in our host a drive-through trunk or treat event for our RUSD students and families. You may go on our district's social media platforms and view the map of schools hosting this safe trunk or treat event, which will be a blast, I'm sure, for all of our students. The only other thing is, again, I encourage family, students, and everyone else, employees, to continue to practice safety on our campuses, at home, and out in the community. While California seems to be much better than it was just a few months ago, the threats are still out there, and people are still coming down with COVID and having complications. So by all means, continue to exercise sound judgment when interacting with others. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Okay, comments from members of the Board of Education. And let's go ahead and start with Ms. Walker.
Well, good evening, everyone. I'm going to be very short. I just wanted to say thank you to all of those folks from the district that came out to celebrate the Rialto Democratic Party's Who's Who Awards. For you all coming out to support Fawcett. So I was excited to be there in the same room with her receiving her award. And just by chance, I also received an award. But I love the fact that we are all there for people in our district. And so thank you for the support that we all received that night. Thank you. That's my comments.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Okay, Ms. O'Kelly.
I would just like to say congratulations to Ms. Walker and also to Fawcett. And I'm so sorry I was unable to attend that night. But the pictures I saw, it looked like a beautiful event and very exciting. So congratulations to both of you. And other than that, tonight I don't have too much to say. So I will turn it back over to you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. O'Kelly. Clerk Lewis.
Yes, good evening. So October is Breast Cancer Awareness. Staff and women, remember to get your mammogram. And with the pink, and we're not going to forget our men in the baby blue for their prostate awareness. So do you know what your PSA is? Get it checked. And I just want to talk about COVID a little bit. Over a 15-month period of the pandemic, more than 120,000 children in the United States had a parent or caregiver die from COVID. Researchers estimate that for every 4 COVID deaths between April the 1st, 2020 and June 30th, 2021, one child lost a parent. Additionally, 22,007 lost a secondary caregiver or grandparent, providing housing and their most basic needs. So the estimated numbers take into account both official COVID deaths and deaths from other causes such as homicides, drug overdose, beyond those expected in a typical year. So this is overwhelming. We have children that do not have parents and lost of parents. The data revealed that the vast disparities is even more with the representation of minority community in their COVID death. So, you know, the devastation that this is having on families is reaching the children and their caregivers and the parents. So I hear a lot of things to talk about parents, and we forget about all the children who lost a parent and a caregiver and a grandparent. And these are the things, when I hear the words, my child, what about the others? What about, as a school district, we have to look at all children, without parents, in the foster care system, without guardians, and the loss that they are coming to school with and have to deal with. So I'm so excited about the promising of the COVID vaccine for pending for 5 to 11. Rialto Unified School District have participated and partnered with over 1,000 COVID vaccines. And I think that's just really shows our commitment, not just to our district, but to our community. And we will continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Clerk Lewis. Vice President Montez.
Thank you, Board President, Mr. Martinez. First and foremost, I just would like to thank everybody for continuing to practice safety practices, wearing a mask, maintaining distance, and our superintendent's encouragement as well. Thank you for that. I want to just share with everybody that yesterday morning I had the honor and the privilege of meeting the California State Attorney General, Rob Bonta, a new Attorney General. I was invited along with many local business leaders and elected officials to meet with the Attorney General at a restaurant in Riverside, Tio's Tacos, I believe. And I just wanted to share that I think at Tio's Tacos in Riverside, they're off Mission, what is it, between Brockton, right before Brockton and Market. It is a pretty well-known, almost historic, in the back of the restaurant. They've got like all of these figurines, bottle caps, things made out of bottle caps, a lot of repurposed items that they've collected over the years and made different type of artworks. I think it's a great, great field trip place for kids to go and visit. If you've never had a chance to visit Tio's Tacos there, check it out, look at the artwork. But I wanted to go and meet the new Attorney General because I am interested in our district possibly receiving help or requesting help from some of these state leaders, local and other local and state leaders, in regards to partnerships, in regards to us being able to just advocate for our district, you know, and for our needs. So that was interesting, even though I didn't get a chance to talk to him very much. It was for a last minute invitation and a last minute meeting. The place was packed. But I did get to meet him and speak with him briefly, and I was promised to be part of a follow-up meeting with him. So hopefully I can go and advocate for Rialto. The other thing I wanted to just share, yesterday was Fasat's birthday. Fasat Rahman, last name, our nutrition services director. And I wanted to wish her a very happy birthday. Fasat has really proven herself to be a pillar of our district, a great leader, just an overall hero to our community, to the kids of this community, the parents, to the families, right? And I just wanted to wish her a very happy birthday. May she have many, many more. I want to also congratulate her and Dina both for being recognized last week at the Rialto Democratic Club event honoring you guys. I apologize for not being able to make it. It was my intention to go, but unfortunately, due to some stomach pain that I endured because of something I ate, I couldn't make it. But I really wanted to be there, so I apologize for not being able to make it. I did see the pictures. There was a lot of RUSD staff there, which was really nice to support, you know, our own, and I seen a lot of other leaders in the community present as well. So kudos to Ms. Walker and Fasat on your guys' prestigious recognition. I also just wanted to share that today, unfortunately, I attended a funeral service for Mayor Pro Temp of Moreno Valley, Victoria Baca. She actually passed away the same day of our last board meeting. And I didn't say anything because it just hadn't really sank in at the time. Victoria has always been a mentor to me, close friend, her and her husband, Raul Wilson. Victoria was a trailblazer in not only in Moreno Valley but in surrounding communities, becoming the first Latina elected to first the Moreno Valley Unified School Board in the early 2000s, and then the first Latina city councilwoman elected to the Moreno Valley City Council. And really, she just opened a lot of doors and was an awesome example for many people. I met her and her husband, I want to say in the 90s when I was a teenager. And they were honestly a big part of who I am today and why I serve. So I just wanted to share and speak a little bit about her. One of the things that I was invited to the city of Moreno Valley on Monday. The city held their own memorial service for her as a city councilwoman, and I was invited to go speak there at their brand new amphitheater, beautiful place. And I shared some things about Victoria that I wanted to share with everyone tonight. But one of the things that Victoria would tell people is, when it comes to doing what's right and when it comes to fighting for the community, fighting for your family, fighting for your friends, fighting for the greater good of people, once you're aware of something, once you see something, you can no longer unsee it. And she was the kind of person that once she saw in someone a little potential, once she knew that you were somebody, a person was somebody that can do something, but refused to or chose not to, but could. She had this ability to call you out and say, hey, you know better and you can do better to help. So you should. Because if you don't, that's only worse. So her and Rahul would constantly tell people, run for office, run for school board, run for city council. And when people would say no, like I did, when I first considered running for school board here, I said no. I got these other things I want to do. She would say, if not you, then who? If not you, then who? And I just wanted to share that about her because it just they touched a lot of people's hearts. They changed a lot of lives, and I'm very grateful for her, for everything that she taught me and everything that they helped me with, and everything that they helped everybody else with. So in her memory, I want to honor it by just continuing to do the good work and to serve like she did. And she was a special education advocate for many years, and that brings me to my next topic, special education. Sometimes we have meetings and we don't always cover topics in the district. We don't always discuss what's going on. We don't always share updates about what's happening, in regards to different departments and in regards to different programs. So just because the community might not hear, might be a while since they heard, hey, I'll give you an example. Somebody asked me, a parent asked me the other day, hey, how come you guys haven't spoke about special ed, or you guys never speak about special ed? And it's a good point. But it doesn't mean we're not doing anything. It doesn't mean nothing's happening. A lot of things are going on, not only behind the scenes, but just in the district in general. And if we were to give a report about what's going on district-wide, every meeting, we'd be here forever. But it wouldn't be a bad idea to at least give a snippet every now and then for our community of what's going on in different areas, with different programs here. I also have received numerous complaints regarding special education, parents that are not receiving the help that they need in regards to their IEPs, in regards to litigation that they have ongoing with the district. It's hard for me to speak with people or engage with anyone if they're in litigation with the district. It puts me in a very difficult situation. I'm here to serve. I'm here to fight for this community. I'm not here to be an enemy of my own district. I'm not here to be an enemy of anybody. But it just can be awkward when we're part of a governing body and litigation gets involved, attorneys get involved and whatnot. So I just want to say that I think it would be good for our district to focus a little more, less on litigation and more on mediation. And I know that some other districts have been able to make a lot of progress, particularly in experiencing less litigation from parents regarding special education by creating their own SELPA. So I know we've brought this up in the past, but I continue to advocate for our district to look for ways to create our own SELPA, which would give us greater flexibility, which would give us greater control over certain responsibilities that we have to our special education students. So with that, I did ask for us to adjourn tonight's meeting in Victoria Baca's name, and I appreciate it. And I'll leave that for the board president at the end of the meeting, but thank you guys. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you, Vice President Montez. Really, I just wanted to congratulate Fawcett and Ms. Walker. And the only thing that comes to mind, Fawcett, you've always been my top ramen.
Your favorite.
My favorite ramen, yeah. And that's her last name. For those who didn't understand that. Okay, me and my sick monkey jokes. Okay, discussion action items. G1, acceptance of grant from United States Department of Agriculture. Can I have a motion and a second, please?
So move. Second.
Okay, and this is to accept the second allocation of the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable Program grant from the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA, in the amount of $602,887.44 for the following schools: Bemis, Boyd, Casey, Curtis, Dollahan, Dunn, Fitzgerald, Garcia, Henry, Eubanks, Kelly, Morgan, Morris, Myers, Preston, Simpson, and Werner Elementary Schools at no cost to the district. I like that cost. Okay. Vote by board members. Ms. Walker.
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly.
Aye.
Clerk Lewis.
Aye.
Vice President Montez.
Aye.
And aye. Unanimous. Thank you, board. Okay, G2, agreement with COVID Clinic, Inc. I need a motion and a second, please.
So move. Second.
Did we approve the consent calendar?
Mhm.
Yes, at the beginning.
Board President, Mr. Martinez moved it up so that we could allow the student board member to vote sooner on that item.
Wanted to make sure that he had time to vote before 9,
I see, okay.
before he was released.
Got it.
Okay, did you have something that you wanted to
No,
review?
you just threw me off. I was trying to find where we were, and then I finally figured it out.
We had voted on it before you got back already.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Okay, G2. We have a motion and a second, and this is to ratify an agreement with COVID Clinic, Inc. to administer weekly testing as required by the State Public Health Officer's order on August 11th, 2021, requiring all K-12 local education agencies to verify the vaccination status or provide weekly diagnostic testing of all employees, volunteers, and other adult individuals who work in district facilities no later than October 15th, 2021. Additionally, the agreement would allow for screening, testing of student athletes, and the agreement to be offered October 7th, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, for a total not to exceed $3 million. It's a lot of tests. And to be paid from the general fund. Question, comments? Okay, Ms. Walker?
I have
Yes.
a question. This is to make sure, I mean, this is also supported by the state COVID grant, right? The monies that we can't receive from the state to support this. So I just want to make clarification for those who you don't know, that the government already sent schools money to make sure that this happens. So this is not taking $3 million away from our educational program here in the district.
I'm glad you pointed that out.
Yes.
Thank you.
It's 'cause
Anyone else? Okay, Ms. Walker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Clerk, I'm sorry, Nancy O'Kelly.
Aye.
Stephanie Lewis.
Aye.
Vice President Montez.
Aye.
And myself, aye. G3, agreement with Riverside County Office of Education. Motion and second, please.
So moved?
Second?
Thank you. And this is to approve a renewal agreement with the Riverside County Office of Education effective October 21, 2021 through July 30th, 2022 at a cost not to exceed $66,000 and to be paid from the district general fund. Questions, comments?
Well, it doesn't explain what they're gonna do for us.
That's good point.
Okay, Dr. Avila?
It's in the discussion, it's in the
Narrative.
narrative pages.
Let me dig in. Okay, do you wish to, Dr. Avila, could we have,
Yeah.
if I could just ask
ahead, Manny.
your last name, how to pronounce it? I'm sorry, Manny.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Board President Martinez. My name is Manny Burciaga,
We'll see.
Board of Education.
Thank you.
Dr. Avila.
Okay, are you ready to speak to this? I believe Ms. O'Kelly has questions. Ms. O'Kelly.
She's reading it.
And Mr. Burciaga, just for clarification, could you state your role?
I am the lead academic agent of secondary innovation.
So while she's just perusing that, you probably want to just do the overview of the transcript, what that service actually is. That was her question. Just
Oh,
what,
for the transcript.
What was, for this particular line
What
item
were
that
we
we're voting
paying
on, what are we, what's going to happen?
Okay, so during the pandemic, we went ahead and did the no zero policy, right? And so that was something that we were very fortunate to do for our students, for our kids. Now, expanding on that, we needed to get some more training. The Riverside County of Education has come to us and said, hey, we've done this before, okay? Not complete the 7 modules that they're gonna do, but they went ahead and did a transcript analysis for us, which is module 1, and that increased our A through G here in our district. That was about 5 years ago. So our counselors, teachers, administrators are very familiar with that. Now, saying that, we do want to transition into standard-based learning, okay? Meaning that the standard-based grading measures student progress relative to specific learning standards. But first, we need to get back to training teachers on a voluntary basis, okay, on the no zero policy. And that is where we are right now.
Okay, that's great.
Okay. So you're planning on coming to Carter High, Eisenhower, Myler, and Rialto High and improve the accuracy of student performance measures as reported by course and student learning outcomes.
Yes. Yes, they're going to be going to every high school. We're starting off with the high schools. They're going to be trained in 7 modules across the whole year, but we are going to begin with 4 per month on no zero policy. So if teachers, and it's volunteer, okay, after school, they have questions, because they have had questions and saying, hey, how does this affect my grading? Is this going to impact student learning? Teaching to the standard, what's going on? And so Riverside is coming over, and that's starting in November, if this is approved, to do this for us.
So you said volunteer?
The very first part is the volunteer for teachers, okay, to do the no zero policy. They wanted to brush up, and I think you guys, some of the teachers had concerns about that, right? They wanted some more training, so we asked for extra training on that. For just teachers to come after school. We didn't want to go ahead and take them out during the day and say, hey, we're going to make you come, right? But the 7 modules, we will start with counselors, and they will be headed to, like she said, Carter, Eisenhower, Rialto, and Myler.
Do most high school teachers have a positive attitude towards this?
I'll say
Most high school teachers don't believe if a child does absolutely nothing, they should get something.
right, and there's studies, there's very academic articles that have come out that this does make an impact. Now, we have to do the training. Most teachers, when we did the no zero policy during the pandemic, had a very positive effect. Now, of course, there's going to be some that just don't understand it just yet, right? And they're going to question it, and that's why we're bringing in Riverside.
But of the
Also-
ones you said that received the training or went through the program with you, the feedback was positive after they went through it?
We haven't gone through it this year, but when they did, 5 years ago, I was not here, they did the transcript analysis. It was positive. It was a positive situation.
So
Yes.
it's not going to be a chance of having 0 teachers after we pay for it sign up. Do you have like a core number of, you pay for
So-
this and they agreed not to because it's volunteer?
Dr. Burciaga, let me interject because we have a couple of things going on here. We have the A through G transcript analysis, which is one of the modules that all of our counselors will be going through along with administrators. Some teachers will participate. They will understand the impact of grades on transcripts and outcomes for students, college and career outcomes, right? Now, that direct connection to that is the validity of grades and what grades actually mean, calibration of grades. That is so difficult to understand in itself, right? Unless they engage in these conversations. And those modules, those will be modules that all of our high school teachers go through. The third part of the training that Dr. Burciaga is talking about is directly correlated to our no zero policy and our teachers' desire to understand how to speak to it or how to do that work further. Right? Those trainings and just those specific trainings are the ones that are not mandatory. Those are only 4 trainings throughout the year. They're after school hours and teachers can sign up if they'd like to. When we're talking about the A through G audits, the transcript analysis, and the other modules which talk about standards-based grading, those are mandatory and those are all for all high school teams, if that makes sense. So we're talking about 3 different items.
And I will interject on the no zero policy training that is voluntary. This wasn't something that we just came up with. We had a number of teachers, a number of principals that were concerned and said, hey, our teachers want training. And I think even some people came up here in past board meetings and said, hey, you know, what's going on? No zero policy. We haven't had training. And that's where this came from. So we had a number of teachers that have come up and said, we need this.
And keep in mind, this is part of our efforts to address the DNF rate as well.
Yeah.
We know that in past practices, many students were failed out of the system because we, in education, insisted that they conform to us and not the other way around. And now we have a new waves of educators, teachers in particular, who want to address the needs of students of color. And there's interest in learning a different approach to grading versus just maintaining the old traditional 0 to 100, where once a child or once a student registers a few zeros during the course of a semester, they essentially don't have any ability or opportunity to really pass the course in many cases. And so in turn, many of them give up halfway through the semester, and then you get the misbehavior, and then you get students being kicked out of class left and right because they know that no matter what they do, because of that zero or those multiple zeros on their grade, they're not going to end up passing the class. And this is, in part, is to address that.
And our district has been at the forefront of this. This system of grading this way has been around and has been successful in other districts. But let's just say, let's be real, teachers will challenge it. And what's going on? They're so used to doing this thing, doing things a certain way. But like he said, we want our kids to have an opportunity, right? And we want them to succeed. And I think something like this, our district being at the forefront, this is what we're all about. And I think this is important.
Does that answer your questions, Ms. O'Kelly? Okay. Are we ready to vote?
Thank you.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
Very much. Okay, Ms. Walker, how do you vote?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Vice President Montez?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Thank you, Board. G4, approval of elementary and secondary school emergency relief ESSER 3 fund expenditure plan. A motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. And this is to approve the ESSER 3 expenditure plan for the 2021-2022 school year at no cost to the district. Questions or comments, Board? Seeing none, are you ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay,
Aye.
Ms. Walker. Ms. O'Kelly.
Aye.
Clerk Lewis.
Aye.
Vice President Montez.
Aye.
And myself. Aye. Thank you, Board. Resolution number 21-22-17, Cybersecurity Awareness Week. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you both. And this is to adopt resolution number 21-22-17, declaring October 18 through 22, 2021 as Cybersecurity Awareness Week and encourage all staff to become aware and decrease cybersecurity risks and protect themselves online. Okay, questions or comments, Board? Okay, this, with the way things are moving, cybersecurity is the number one issue for any entity, schools, hospitals, healthcare system, anywhere there's social security numbers with names, they are a target. And usually the way they get in is through an employee opening up what's called a phishing email. So we need to train our employees and so forth. And this is a push nationwide. And that's like every other awareness week. This one's on cybersecurity. By the way, cybersecurity is one of the top job necessities right now. So if anybody's looking what to be and they want probably a very secure job.
Hey, our district got hacked last year.
Exactly. And it came because of lack of awareness.
My Facebook just got hacked.
Oh, boy. That's not good. Okay. I'm glad that Ms. Scantleberry brought this forward. Okay, are we ready to vote, Board?
Yes.
Okay, Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Vice President Montez?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Thank you, Board. Okay, G6, stipulated expulsion. Motion and a second, please.
So moved.
Second?
Thank you. Case number 21-22-14. And vote by board members.
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Vice President Montez?
Aye.
And myself, aye. Okay, adjournment. The next regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Rialto Unified School District will be held on November 17th, 2021 at 7 p.m. at the Dr. John Casalunas Education Center, 182 East Walnut Avenue, right here in Rialto, California. Materials distributed or presented to the Board of Education at the board meetings are available upon request from the superintendent's office. Okay, it's not said in here, but I am asking the student board member to make a motion for adjournment.
Mr. Martinez, and we also have this.
Thank you. Okay, if we have a motion and a second, then I'll read this.
So moved?
Second.
All right, thank you. Okay, tonight we officially close our school board meeting in honor of Miss Victoria Baca. Mr. Montez, would you like to read this? No, it's family.
Thank you. Thank you. Tonight, we officially close our school board meeting in honor of Mrs. Victoria Baca, who was our board vice president, Mr. Edgar Montes' godmother. For many decades, Mrs. Baca was a tireless advocate for students and parents in local public education. She was a trailblazer who championed the reform at public schools, including in our own district for students with special needs. Mrs. Baca was serving as the mayor pro temp of Moreno Valley when she passed October 6, 2021. Mr. Montes, please accept the Board of Education and Superintendent's deepest condolences. Mrs. Baca will always be remembered for focusing her life in helping the marginalized. Please join us in a moment of silence for Mrs. Baca as we adjourn this meeting in her honor.
Okay, please join me in that moment of silence. Vice President Montez, my deepest condolences. Okay, on adjournment, preferential vote by student board member.
Aye.
Okay, Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. O'Kelly?
Aye.
Clerk Lewis?
Aye.
Vice President Montez?
Aye.
And myself, aye. 8:18, we are adjourned.